Otherwise, you can unmute yourself, open your video, and ask questions to us, right? So as I told you, I'll give a quick introduction. So all about PML, we started in, mid of 2024. That's how it started with couple of experienced product manager. So I'm one of the founding members of that. And we try to see the market gap, right? So our main agenda is always, you build the products, you learn hands-on, right? So that will increase your confidence, and then you can success into your, interviews, discussions, and even the job itself. Currently, we are focusing on digital products, and soon we'll be starting our program for the physical products, like FMCG products, IoT products. So there are a lot of products because that product management itself does not, stick to digital or, web or mobile, but is also to physical product world also, right? So as you see, we try to, from a lot of, I think it's more than now 2 years, I can say, from where we started. So we try to see what is our framework, what is our pyramid. So we try to see a lot of resources people were selling, right? So that is the first point that came us to our mind. A lot of resources are free. I'll share you the link. You can register monthly. We share around 50 to $100 free books, free research reports, which you are getting paid off, somewhere in product management domain specific, lot of reports, right? So at least you are not investing money in those books. If you do not get any book, you can definitely join our WhatsApp group and ask and request for the books if you are looking for any study material, right? So that's how it started, and then all the programs are mentor led. And we have a very rich community on LinkedIn. Around 9,000 folks are there. We are following across global, and we also motivate and people guide to build their portfolio, whether you are in product management or whether you are a fresher or whether you are experienced 20 plus year also. It's very important to have a portfolio because apart from LinkedIn, a lot of recruiters are quickly scanning your portfolio and giving to the hiring manager, right? The decision maker. That's why it is very important to have a portfolio first. And we follow the sprint methodology across our all programs, and we have full stack program in terms of teaching you entire product management. And also we are getting into the career accelerator. We just started 6 months back, so this overall objective is to guide you, right? So a lot of initial calls, 30 to 40 minutes, are free, so you can plan, is the product management good for me, how I should get into the interviews, or how should I build my value proposition. Everything is there, so we try to build everything which is for the people to build their confidence, right? And get a guided path. That's how we started, right? And as I told you, 8,000, 9,000 people are there across, 2,000 active learners we have. Now we have crossed around 250 alumni, and we do it everything on weekends only, right? We are not full-time sort of, but weekends are available. So because all the professionals, all the mentors are working professionals, right? And this is very much, if you guys, you will get, everybody get the video link in terms of your recordings. So this is the key framework that we have developed after a long time. So what is the success, right? That brings you, the success brings you these 6 pillars, right? Because end of the day, you are solving the domain problems, you are learning the technologies, you are implementing new technologies to solve the problem. So these pillars are very important. If you are not still building your skill sets in one area, you are just building product management in terms of strategy, in terms of building the product delivery part of it. You need to know the business aspects, business models, right? Because end of the day, you need to get the revenue for the company, right? As you know, product management is also not a individual team individual person game. You need to talk to at least a lot of stakeholder. That's why people management skills to stakeholder, these are very important part of it. And a lot of things we do in the program, we push you to do that, right? Frankly, we push you. And portfolio, as I told you, is a imperative part of our holistically program, and our engagements we have with you, right? So that's how the PML, and these are the basic skill set. Everybody should have it. We have planned in a very crafted way. I'm also a mentor on 2 companies. I take a lot of interviews for product manager, senior product manager. From last years, I'm and paneled on the interviews also. So that's why, what are the skill sets going for freshers to AI product owner, AI product manager? Very pretty much we keep on refining our programs also, right? So quickly, these are our programs. There are 4 programs. Uh, Currently, as I told you, we have a weekend program. In this program, we try to touch base, for example, some of the key areas, product strategy, like for example, GTM, right? Like product tear down, we are just concluding that program. Ankit has taken that part, Aziz has taken that part. And then we have other detailed program where you learn end-to-end, product management program. And in that, you try to build the product from the zero day, right? You are not building any capstone project or something like in that, but you are starting the discovery part, you are building it, you are testing it, and then you will launching that product also, right? So we'll get into detail later on, right? So I don't want to get into the details and nitty-gritty. So so that's about me first of all. You have heard a lot of from me right now, talking. But let me quickly give high level snapshot about me. I have been into industry around 23 years, right? So initially I was into retail in area in India only. I worked with top companies, Reliance Retail, Aditya Birla, Spencers, and then I moved to IT side of it, right? So it's been 20 years, right? And I have been managing a lot of product strategy and innovation these days, right? I do consulting. I'm on board of two, three companies where I do innovation and consulting, right? And previously, I have worked as product head, senior product manager with a lot of companies like Ace Turtle, where Lee and Wrangler products are there, Apollo. So those product companies are entirely in India, and I have a very rich global experience working in US around 3 years, and 3 years in around in US, plus in Europe a lot, right? So that's how, if you see, I have done my master's program in retail management, and I was lucky to have gold medal in my program and my thesis also, and some of the certifications which validate my product management learnings and product management experience like this, right? So, and in terms of my engagement with the industry, so I've been blessed to have been, IIT Madras has taken me in their e-cell as a product mentor last year, and that engagement finished in December. And now I'm a regular mentor on Reliance Foundation. PML School is run by me. And I'm from last 4 years, I'm part of Institute of Management, which is FIB in New Delhi. So they are top school in terms of B schools, and I mentor students for supply chain, retail, e-commerce, right? So that's about me, and now Cheryl is there. I will give Cheryl to present herself. And we are lucky to have her, and we are very much obliged and happy she gave us the time and agreed to do this. Welcome, Cheryl. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much, Amit, for taking us through the entire ethos of what the PML school is. And it's a pleasure to be a part of a platform that focuses on how products are built and the practical root of it versus the theoretical part of it. So, hi everyone. Thank you for joining us on during the weekend. I'm sure all of us have a lot of plans with our family, but the fact that you all made time to attend this, I'm eternally grateful. So, my name is Cheryl Seema Lobo, and I'm actually from Mangalore, Bombay, but I've grown up in the Middle East. So, just to take you through my role, I've been in the UAE for the last 20 years, and I've always been a banker. I've started my career with Citibank in the UAE, which focused on the service aspect of it in wealth management. I later moved on to Barclays Bank. Throughout those years, I've been servicing clients, I've been looking after the relationship managers in the wealth management department. With RAK Bank, I started my stint with product management, and I've ended my banking career with CBI. So, what am I actually doing right now? Not too long ago, I have actually founded my own luxury lifestyle experience company. So, that's completely changed tracks from what banking is. Over here, we focus on experiential and product based gifting for corporates as well as individuals. Now, we all have heard about AI speaking and pulling out those hyper personalized options, but I'm one human speaking to another human and pulling out the same option in terms of gifting. I'll speak more about it towards the end of the course. Apart from that, I'm also working on an edutech and fintech venture. Hopefully, I'll start maybe in about a couple of months. So, as far as
And
product management is concerned, it's always been a passion. It's been a subject that gives you the right balance between what's logical and what is creative. So I've specialized in retail banking products, the entire assets book, liabilities book, bank assurance, FX. And during my career, I've also taken projects that include business process reengineering, a few digitization projects. I overlook the marketing strategy. I develop operations, sales, and incentive models. And I also look at portfolio management. In terms of qualification, I've done my bachelor's in commerce from Mithibai College in Bombay. And I've not mentioned it over here, but like every commerce student, I've been one of those optimistic people who started chartered accountancy as well. And you know what the passing percent all over India. What? It's basically less than 2%. And it's even more challenging if you move from India to the UAE because you have a lot of parameters that support whether or not you pass your exams. Anyways, I did give that up. I reached CAPE2, which was the second level, and then I shifted my gears into MBA. So I've done my MBA with XLRI Jamshedpur. I'm sure all of you know about it. It's one of the top business schools in India. And I'm a double major in finance and strategy. And given my expertise in bank assurance, I've also done a specialized course with the Chartered Insurance Institute of UK, which is called PERT CPM. And later on, I also thought, why not learn a little bit about what the product owner program is all about? That's different from what we do as product managers, and hence the certification into CSPO, ACSPO, and very recently, the AI product owners micro certification. So that's what I am all about.
Thanks. Welcome, Cheryl, again. So, guys, you have the opportunity and rich experience along with me and Cheryl today. So, welcome again, everybody. So, and then we have other previous guests also, which engaged in 2025. I would like to introduce you also because when they get time, they also come up some of the programs or some of the guest lecture. So, we are blessed to have Vinita earlier. She is based out of US and she primarily focus on AI, ML, and fintech areas, right? And she has mentored around 3 programs with us into 2025. And now, being in financial year, she is busy these days, right? So a lot of mentors are coming. We are bringing as per the strength of the batch or the expertise of the students. If they are a little bit freshers, so Abhishek is very good. Product manager. He has been into primarily into e-commerce and fintech. He was with us as a guest lecturer. And then we have Krishna. He's based out of India only, Hyderabad, and he do a lot of work in supply chain, product management, compliance, planning. He's expert in that area, as you see. So that's why each mentor has different, expertise. So what expertise I have, Sudipta has other expertise. So for example, he's doing a lot of in e-commerce, supply chain, manufacturing. He's currently with Walmart in India. He focus on product strategy and product development part of it currently. And then we have Abhimanyu. He's based out of even Gurgaon. He's primarily focused in e-commerce and airlines and restaurant industry. So if you see, we are very much focused on the domain because end of the day, all the companies, all the head CXOs are looking to solve the business problem, right? That's the gap we find. So when you are trying to learn something, I'll give you idea. Try to solve the domain specific, right? So that's one of the take. And we were lucky earlier to have Amita. She's in having rich experience in edtech. She also mentored one of our program entire end to end, not even guest speaker, but mentored also. She took very voluntary, experience in terms of taking and mentoring students, not only teaching. So very active in that, edtech area. So that's why we believe in this, our, famous quote, tell me, I forget. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and learn. So we involve you everything rather than just teaching the old style slides and all that. We will push you to do the things, right? So that's how it's a bit introduction. I'll stop here presenting my screen, right? And I will ask any questions anybody would like to ask. So then I'll give to the stage to the Cheryl. She will start telling about fintech, data, a lot of things. Even I need to learn today, frankly. Welcome everybody again who has joined. Welcome again. Let me give you in chat if you have not joined. And meanwhile, Cheryl will be getting ready to share her screen, right? If you have any questions, guys, please put in chat, right? We will not in a hurry, anything. 5-10 minutes plus minus is okay for us, right? So I'm giving you one chat message. Please look at your chat. If you are still not part of PML, please join here, right? So this will help you to get a lot of resources free. Primarily, we are not trying to, get into the areas of where, end to end, you are not just getting the knowledge, right? You are also getting hand-hold with the mentors, right? It's very important. So this is the group, guys. And if Sudhira is there, can you hear us? Are you still in the other event? She was there in the other event.
Yes, I am traveling.
Okay,
That's
you are
why
yeah, yeah.
unable to.
Okay, no problem. So Sudhira is joined us as a product owner, volunteer with us with the with PML School just in January and only. So we are inviting a lot of volunteers to learn and work if you are new also. So that's the objective also, like you go because we have couple of products, right? So this is the chat message, guys. Check into it now. Overall to Cheryl. So thanks everybody. If you want to have any questions, I'll pause. Otherwise, I will give ahead. Go ahead, Cheryl, please.
Uh, Hi, Cheryl. Ismail here. Currently, I'm working with a RAK
Yeah,
Bank with Protigo.
got good,
So
good.
I think you are aware of Protigo. I'm a part of Protigo team right now.
All
So
right.
good to see you here, and yeah, and would like to learn more from you and get more, advance going forward. Thank you so
Sure.
much.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much for attending.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Anybody wants to say something, please ask. I told you this is not a super fast flight or train. Be informal, right? If you want to introduce, ask something. Anybody's in fintech, guys? Before Cheryl starts, she is now ready to shoot. Just type fintech, banking, fintech, finance. Even if you are a BCom, it's good. I am not a BCom guy. I thought to do only Bachelor of Arts in initial days. Good, good banking. See, I got Vijay. I love banking. Now, these days I'm learning, guys, fintech, frankly telling you. So banking, fintech is part of, payments. Anybody, just write banking, fintech, payments. Good, good. So go ahead, Cheryl.
Thank you. Vijay, before we proceed ahead, would you like to share more about your experience in banking and what particular stream of product you're a part of? Vijay, I think you're on mute.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible right now. Hi, Vijay.
Okay. Am I audible right? Okay, fine.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so thanks a lot, Amit and Cheryl. Both of your introduction has really motivated and also gave us a lot of boosting. So I currently work for a very large IT servicing company, but at the same time, I work for a consulting company. They
Okay.
focus primarily on, of course, it is a offshoring as well as, consulting in terms of government projects, in terms of fintech projects, in terms of Gen AI as well. So
Okay.
I work as a product manager. Um, I mean, typically, if you call it as a business analyst who focuses on products and at the same time servicing the banking clients. In the last 11 years, I've been with Singapore, in Singapore, been with multinational banks such as Julius Baer, UBS, BNP Paribas, Citibank, Standard Chartered Bank, all the majors.
That's some great brands that you worked with. The private banking sector is what I would reckon.
Oh, yes, correct. You are right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I I never thought of the terminologies would change in the last 10 years. I used to
Yes.
more call myself as a business analyst. Now they call it as a product manager or a product owner, so on and so forth. But I always considered myself as a guy who can think that, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I need to
Yes.
develop my own product, and I need to solve the little problems that the user is facing.
Correct.
I walked into literally the shoes of the user, and uh, the exposure that I got from Singapore was tremendous, mainly because, as you know, the what do you call it, the rate at which the failure occurs there is maybe 2%. That really put me into a stage where I cannot afford to make errors. I would rather need to think twice before I propose any solution. So in the last 11 years, I've worked with these spaces. Of course, it was a learning. I don't call myself as an SME. I always call myself as a learner. So I moved from collateral management initially, then moved on to middle office, OTC derivative, or middle office, or rather I would say OTC derivative and derivatives products. Then moved on to compliance. I've worked with BNP Paribas or UOB Bank. UOB is considered to be one of the best corporate banking in Singapore. I worked there as in the wholesale banking, in the payments domain. So I've traveled from A to Z banking, but now I call myself as a compliance guy who would want to call as a compliance SME, because compliance is one thing which makes me feel satisfied that everything is going as per the governance. So yeah, this is my little profile, a small profile about it.
Awesome. Thank you
And
so much for sharing that with us. It's always good
yes,
to connect with people from the industry.
and
And
by the
you
way,
work with excellent brands.
my
Yes.
undergraduate has been in hotel management. So
No way. Oh, that's quite a transition then.
yeah, I mean, from hotel
That's
management, I worked in Rajvilas, Jaipur. Then after that, I pursued my MBA. I went to Hilton, London,
okay.
the Paddington. From there, I transitioned to banking in India in 2006. Since then, I've always moved into banking and ITs.
That's amazing. I think that's quite commendable from where you've started and how you've pivoted from one industry and you've moved into something and I believe you found your place now in compliance.
Definitely, yes. And now,
Perfect.
and product PML school, when I went through the topics, I really
Yes.
got attracted to saying that, okay, these guys are offering something practical knowledge rather than some theoretical. So here I am. Thank you so much, Amit, and thank you so much, PML school.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much. With that, we move on to the next. So let me just scan through. Of course, I've spoken about myself. Now, let's move into what we are actually doing today. So, a lot of us know what a product owner is and what a product manager is, but I'm here to give you my perspective on what we do in product management, specifically in the UAE banking sector. So we are not really doers in the sense that we are not into developing a particular app. Now let's speak from a fintech point of view, right? I'm not that person who's actually developing the digitalization route or the software, so to say. But I'm that person who aligns with the overall strategy of the organization, which means we look at the strategy of, I'm going to take bank for example because that's the industry I was in. So we understand what the overall strategy of the bank is in terms of short term strategy, long term strategy, and we pay a lot of attention to financials and targets, and this is how we are made to think. We think from a very strategic point of view, and we have to know our numbers exceptionally well. So we are numbers people, we are strategic in terms of our thought process, and we have this mindset of thinking as though we own the business. So, Vijay, you spoke about a mindset change. That is exactly what we do in product management. We think as owners of the business, but not a subordinate of the business. And trust me, that mindset comes with a lot of practice because, as in when you transition from a junior role to a middle management role to a role where you are calling the shots and making those very important decisions. And I'm saying decisions like what is the interest rate going to be? Right? So that is essentially what my role is. I can have my head come to me and say tomorrow, guess what? Fed is changing the rates. I need you to align the interest rate of our loan products and our liability products to align with what the Fed is offering. So that requires us to do a lot of number crunching, speak to a lot of stakeholders, and have command over our subject, the market, and of course, our mindset. So, which is why we are here to talk about we want to move our strategic decisions from markets and we want to change it into a proper mindset and make very uh, evidence-based product strategy. So this is what this course is all about. And that's what we essentially do as product managers. So to recap, we speak about strategy, right? We speak about product development. We speak about aligning our resources together, which means we train. We overlook every marketing strategy, which involves what kind of tone do we use, what kind of creative we use, and we look at after-sales services. So that's what our role actually encompasses. So what are we here to speak about? Now, I would love this to be a conversation and not a school. We are all here as colleagues to share ideas. But here's the agenda anyway. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what the UAE banking industry is like. Core segments in fintech, I'm sure there are much more, but I've just covered a few of them. Market research in terms of what definition it is, what processes, and what tools that are used. And I'm going to pick up one banking product that I have worked on personally because I've launched the bank assurance line of business in the bank that I last worked in. So I'm going to give you a drill down of what my thought process was, and I'll take you through a practical implementation of how I used that data from research to our GTM stage. And then, of course, we talk about our journey from markets to mindset, and I'll end with a case study that all of y'all will work on. So you'll get a gist of how we work. So the UAE banking industry has an array of multinational and local banks, but of late we have seen the emergence of a lot of digital banks in the UAE, and I can see that the conventional banks are now fighting for their share of pie, which is great. I think it's a very healthy competition that's maintained between both the digital banks and the conventional banks. And it gives an opportunity for us product managers who work specifically in the conventional banking sector to expand our horizon of learning and move into more projects through digitalization. And like I mentioned, digital transformation and innovation is the main agenda of all conventional banks now in the UAE. And we are governed by the Central Bank of UAE. And what I love about the Central Bank is that the customer is always at the epicenter of everything that they do. We've had very strict regulations come about a couple of years ago, which is known as the Consumer Protection Standard Regulation. It's obviously followed abroad, but all banks in the UAE had to keep that regulations at the epicenter of all their product purposes, their objective, their development, and the way that they would see processes come by. We've seen a lot of banks who had to shelf products because it did not comply with what the regulations stated. And it put a lot of stress on us, even as product managers, to see that every communication, every legal document is aligned with what the regulations state. Of late, they've also done a lot of work, and they keep doing a lot of work to ensure that they support digital initiatives. So I can see that it's a market that's growing. And we do have the AI campus over here at DIFC that supports a lot of entrepreneurs who want to move into the fintech space because that supports the growth of the country. It puts UAE on the map. And I think it's a wonderful thing at the end of the day. And considering that we are in the UAE, Islamic banking obviously has a lot of relevance over here. We see a lot of conventional banks having an Islamic banking unit, or we have a lot of banks that are Islamic in nature. So it's a lot of, it's a different field altogether that obviously that I'm not privy of because my experience has been in the conventional banking setup. But they have their own rules, they have their own regulations, and they are governed by the central bank. And of course, a lot of other things that come into play. Sustainability now, that has gained momentum. You'll see a lot of organizations now having a department set up just for sustainability. And product managers now have a challenge in front of them where they have to align their entire product line with sustainability, which is great. So we expand into sustainable loan products, sustainable liability products, you name it. So that gives us an opportunity to work on something like this, which is new. All right, so that's just a brief of what the UAE banking sector looks like. Obviously, you have plenty of resources that are available online to give you more information about that. Now, let's talk about few segments that are there in fintech. Payments that enables a lot of digital payments, international remittances, local remittances, and we have seen the central bank come up with a lot of programs to ensure that you can transfer peer-to-peer transfers, perhaps through the help of email addresses and phone numbers. So that's a project that is mandated by the central bank. Digital wallets through Samsung Pay, GPay, Buy Now, Pay Later, and QR-enabled POS payments. A lot of banks use a lot of elements from each of these core tech setups that are there and not anything in isolation. And like I said, everything aligns with the strategy of the organization. I, as a product manager, cannot wake up one day and go, hey, I want to speak about InsurTech, and I propose it to the bank. But the bank's going to come back to me and say, why InsurTech? That's not even a part of our strategy. Because I'm sure you understand that when it comes to InsurTech, you have a provider, and then you obviously have to do a lot of integration with your core banking system, and a lot of it would cost. So the bank might feel, no, I don't think that's going to be our focus as of now. So the product manager has to be privy to that information. Okay? So let's move into digital and neobanks. We've spoken about it. They offer client onboarding, account management, card services, and some of them offer savings and investment products as well. Credit tech, to assess the credit worthiness in accordance with the policies and procedures of the bank. And this function is actually gaining a lot of momentum in the conventional banking space. And why? Right now, what's happening is the Fed rates are aligned in such a way that it's more favorable for you to have cheaper loans. Up until last year, I would say last year or the end of 2024, it was more favorable for you to have more liability products, which means I would have a bigger rate of interest or more rate of interest if I had booked a fixed deposit. We were averaging around 5.5%, 4.5%. But from the end of 2024, if I'm not mistaken, and it keeps going at a certain pace, is where the Fed rates have now reduced by 25 to 50 bips, which means the tables have now turned to loan products, which makes lending a lot more cheaper. That's the competition that's actually happening in the bank. And as product managers, we need to keep our eyes and ears open to see what those rates look like and align those rates with our bank rates by speaking to Treasury, understanding asset liability management, and the works. So credit tech is where you'll have a bunch of loan applications, but the tech helps you minimize the time that you spend on one loan application. All of us have a credit policy. All of us have certain rules and regulations that are given to us by the central bank to assess the credit worthiness of the individual. All you have to do is integrate or plug in those parameters into your system, and that helps you churn a much more hit rate, right? I mean, if I would spend half an hour, 1 hour in assessing an application based on so many things, that system would help me do that job in a matter of minutes. And I'm more efficient as a human, right? I would process a lot more applications in very less time versus how much it would take. Wealth tech. Wealth tech now has taken a lot. It's really popular, and I think I like it quite a lot, especially for people who are not investment savvy. How many of us have been through that stage where we want to get into investments, we want to get into wealth management, but we don't know how? Right? Because there's a lot of time that you spend on understanding what the markets are all about. You might read plenty resources online, but yet you're not able to wrap your head around it. That's when your robo advisors come. So All of us have an investment risk profile, and I think if y'all don't know how many of y'all know what investment risk profile is all about? If y'all are into investments,
Yes,
by show of
anybody.
hands.
Anybody. Speak up,
Awesome.
guys. Yes, yes.
Anyone?
Smile. I will tell Smile to do it. You will have
Like
practice.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
investment and taking the apartment and renting it out. It's like an investment.
No. So here's the thing. All of
Can
us
I?
have a
Can I?
risk app. Sorry, yes, Amit.
Yeah, yeah. I can.
Yes,
I can tell you what is the investment risk profile. So
yes,
basically, every person have a different risk profile, right? So for
correct,
example, based on the age, income range, and everything, right?
correct.
Someone risk taker, so they can deploy more investment to the equity segment. Maybe someone more into the fixed income instrument, right? So basically, as
Yes.
per the risk profile, we do investment based on the individual person, right? So if you are opening any account with the investment advisors, right? So first they do the risk profiling of the users, right? So this is how it works, issue basically. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Amit, if I'm not mistaken, I glanced through. Aren't you working with Morningstar?
Yeah, that's good. I'm okay for
Perfect.
Morningstar.
We love Morningstar. I mean, that's a go-to resource for everyone who's in banking, wealth management, and investment. Your fund fact sheets are an absolute, uh, learning for all of us, and it's widely used over here. All of us use it. So I
Yeah,
would love to learn more
thanks.
about your profile. So good
Sure,
luck.
definitely. Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Awesome. So, like Amit rightly said, an investment risk profile is to assess how you are as an investor. You can be a conservative investor, you can be a moderate investor, or you can be very aggressive. So, the investment risk profile has a certain number of questions that speak about, of course, your age, your dependent. It also speaks about your experience into investing. And based on these permutations and combinations, of course, we do have a parameter that's set. It assesses whether you are a person who is conservative, which means I would rather sit with an FD, not worry about what the market is, and be happy with a return of 2 to 3%. And I live a retired life. You have a moderate investor who says, you know what, I don't mind taking a little risk, but I'm on the fence at the same time. So I don't mind a little bit of return that ranges between say 5 to 6%. I'm giving hypothetical examples here. And I don't mind investing into a horizon of maybe 5 to 6 years just to fulfill a particular goal. And of course, you have the most aggressive investors who say, you know what? I have $10,000. I just put that in the market. I don't care if everything goes bust. Those are your aggressive investors who say, I would rather do 20% returns or I just lose it all. Those are your aggressive investors. This is essential when it comes to you starting your investment journey and your wealth management journey. Basis this particular scorecard that's there, if it's a robo advisor, they will then say, okay, based on the feedback that you've given, we feel that you are a balanced investor, an aggressive investor, or a moderate investor, and these funds would fall within that particular class. I won't spend too much time on that because it's highly technical. And that's what wealth tech is all about. And you have trading, cryptocurrency, and the works. Insure tech. This has gained momentum, I've seen maybe in the last 2, 3 years or so. I'm sure it's been there in the industry, but not so much in the UAE. Until and unless the bank focuses on insurance as one of their main KPIs. So, life and general insurance, the whole roadmap is enabled digitally for fulfillment. And you have a lot of these aggregator services and websites that are there who give you a snapshot of what general insurance, for example, you're taking auto insurance, it says provider A will give it to you at this premium, B and C, and you, with the click of a button, you complete your entire application online. That's it at the comfort of your home. You don't have to run behind anyone else. You don't have to go to the insurance company. Everything's right there. And of course, your claim process. I think that's a topic that is widely spoken in the insurance industry because when it comes to critical illness claim or a death claim, I'm sure you've heard a lot of sob stories where people have to run behind the insurance company just to get that claim. It creates a lot of emotional and physical stress on the family. So I would say that the InsurTech essentially simplifies that process, right? And a lot of unit linked insurance products, which means that it offers me insurance and it gives me the option to invest into funds. That is what unit linked investment products or insurance products are all about. And it allows me to see what my portfolio is and switch between funds. I don't like fund A and I don't think it's performing well. I sell it and I switch into fund B. All these things are done digitally. And moving on, we have regulatory tech. Yes, a lot of us. I think, Vijay, you mentioned you're in compliance, correct? So I'm sure a lot of time is spent in or pressure that you might get from your peers who say, you're wasting a lot of time on compliance. I mean, can you not approve this account a little faster? And I think in private banking, if I'm not mistaken, this is what my colleagues have told me, it would take months for the account to open due to the background check. Can you validate or speak something about that particular aspect? Vijay, you're on mute.
Anybody can. Yeah, Vijay, if you're there, please let
Yeah,
Vijay.
because he's in compliance. So
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think,
Vijay,
Yeah,
definitely
Got-
we'll grill you now.
yeah.
Don't
Sorry,
worry, bro.
yeah, what was the question? Sorry, if you could
So
repeat.
basically, regulatory tech is one of the most, I think it's coming up right now.
Right.
And now that you were in private banking, you've mentioned through the banks that are there. And I think it
Right.
takes about months for you all to open the account because of the level of checks that are done.
Right.
So,
Correct.
how much time would you all approximately spend on one application? If I bring you a new account today, how does that
That's right.
work?
So, if we, based on my experience from a traditional client onboarding, uh, the processes were like silos. There was no specific system which can integrate all those, critical stakeholders or participants. Over a period of time, if the client needs to be onboarded, RM needs to kind of, create a profile. Then it would go to some other dip team to kind of screen through his profile. There are a lot of documentation which are involved. There are some decisions which are involved in different departments. Now with this RegTech, what it means is, bring each of the stakeholders into a common platform, right? And if a specific platform can be enhanced to kind of like cut short the duration, and then it's like straight through process, we call it as for payments, we call it as straight through process for the client onboarding, so which involves a parallel checks of his profile, his risk profile, where what sort of business he's doing, which countries they are doing, what sort of sanctions that the location where he's doing the business, all that is captured in one platform. So that means bringing the data, bringing the user, bringing the decision makers, so that everyone has a view of a client onboarding, let's say, profile, and the duration is cut short because everyone has the live data to make a decision. So I think earlier it used to be 2 to 3 weeks. Now it's a matter of 2 to 3 days. And in fact, even what I've heard is fast track banking is there for HSBC. So that means it could be done probably in a day. I have not come across, but probably in a day.
Yeah, I mean, so we do have a lot of banks over here that do digital onboarding, and there's one bank that does it in under 7 minutes for
Wow.
individuals. Yeah. So we've actually tested the platform because that's what we wanted to do. So we keep, as product managers, we have to be so inquisitive. We have to do a lot of market scans where we actually call up the call center and understand what their rates are. And through our questions, they know that we are fellow bankers as well. Not a lot of them will give you that information. So that's where your network works, because you have to disguise. Sometimes we had to disguise ourselves as someone else and pose as customers. But yeah, that's the conventional way of market research. So thank you so much for touching upon that, Vijay. And data tech is is so important, and I cannot stress on how important data tech is all about. And being product managers, you can't really work in isolation just based out of primary data. You have to analyze your own book to understand the pulse of your own customers. Because if I were to develop a product and sell it, I would first have to understand my entire base, because the cost of acquisition is much lesser, right? Versus me going into the market and acquiring a customer. So you see, as a product manager, you have to think from that aspect. If I have to develop a product or if I have to introduce a product, I have to understand what my base is all about. Consumer behavior can be assessed through different mechanisms, right? You can understand the consumer's behavior through their credit card spending. You understand what outlets they spend, which months they spend, and along with that, you align your campaigns to what that particular customer behavior is. I've tried and tested this method through other campaigns, and it's worked wonders. Right? So we do predictive analysis, fraud detection, risk modeling are just a couple of it. Accounting tech is where the finance team obviously uses that for digital invoicing, aligning any tax management or all their accounting activities. That's where they use it. Gamified fintech. Yes, this is like a favorite conversation, and that's exactly what I am going to be developing very soon. A lot of fintech apps that cater to your Gen Zs and your Gen Alphas use gamified methods to educate them. A lot of banks and a lot of organizations, I'm sure, do it, but not the conventional setup. You'll have a lot of people coming up in this space that speaks or adopts a lot of gamified methods to teach you what finance is all about and to make you aware of different ways that you can invest. So it's more driven towards the youth than it is to someone like us, right? So yeah, these are just few segments in the areas of fintech. Now, I want you all to pause. Right now, we are here to speak about products, and it does not have to be a finance related product. It does not have to be. It could be anything. It could be a comb for all I care. I want you to think about the last product you've purchased. It could be a purchase that happened today, maybe a week ago, or a few months ago, irrespective of what the value is. I want you to spend 5 minutes and I will quiz one of y'all, right? So we'll speak about that product. Think about the last product that you bought and why. So I do have few questions that can help you formulate your answers. And I want you to think about these while you're thinking about the product. It could be a product, it could be a brand. How did you know about it? Did it arise out of a need or a want? What features did you like about the product? What value did that particular product offer you? Did you do any research before buying that product? Maybe not. And how important was the trust factor for you before you decided to purchase that product? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to think about that.
Guys, you can take any product from any industry, digital,
Yeah,
physical.
yeah. Absolutely. Like I said, it could be a lipstick for all the women out there. It could be a bag. It could be a comb. It could be anything. But we just want to have a conversation and yeah, so I'll give you a practical insight of how market research is actually done. We're doing it as we speak.
And thanks, folks who have recently joined. I see a lot of people new. Welcome to PML School. Thanks, everybody.
Actually, I want to talk about that product if no one is able to speak.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay.
Who is that?
So,
Who is there?
I think it's Vijay. Vijay, is that you?
yeah, this is Vijay
Yeah.
here.
Okay, I can't see you. Okay, carry on. If you can,
Hear me now?
yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah, yeah, it's good
Vijay, I'm
sometime.
making notes as we go. So,
Right.
yeah, go on ahead.
Uh, okay, so how did you know about the product and brand? Of course,
First, tell
there
me
is
the
a
product. First, tell me which
yes,
product are we taking.
yes. This is. I won't take it as a. It's a cosmetic product, okay, which I
Okay.
bought it, right?
All right.
Now
What particular product? I'm so sorry. It's so generic.
that
We want to
that's
really get into the
it's
details of it.
got it. It's a moisturizing. It's a moisturizer,
Okay. Facial moisturizer, body moisturizer.
facial
Okay.
moisturizer, facial
So,
and
face
body.
cream.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's called Japanese Blossom,
Okay.
which is probably may be quite expensive in India, but in Asian countries it is quite famous.
Is it
Now,
rituals?
no, it's body and bath,
Bath and
bath
Body
and body.
Works. Okay, got it. Fine. Bath
Yeah.
and Body Works. Okay, fine.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
that puts things into
Yeah.
perspective.
So,
Okay.
So, guys, one thing, I have worked with that company, just to
Oh,
tell
oh,
you.
really?
Amit, no, that's great to know, Amit. We can probably get it some discounts.
No, I worked in their analytics solution, just to add on. Carry on,
Okay,
carry
okay,
on. Yeah.
got it. Okay, so I mean, why I'm not taking the experience of a tech product or a banking product is because quite people are aware of how the products are developed based on the taste. But when you talk about let's say off the list of product, right? You need to make really a great choice, right? If you talk
True.
about banking product, I can walk into ICICI, HDFC, and Kotak Mahindra or DBS Bank, and I can be showered with a lot of freebies, and then they can convince me. But that is
True.
not product is all about. Now,
Yes.
this product, right? It's a cosmetic, right?
Yeah.
Both, let's say, both could be men and women might use it, but women are
Yeah.
very particular about a product. They don't want to share money for just a normal product, right? So
True.
they are very choosy and particular. So I went into the product, right? I wanted to give to my family members. I was confused, like which one to take, and I looked at Indian brands, which are quite common,
Yeah.
but it's pale, right? It doesn't smell good
Yeah.
when it comes to a moisturizer. Now that triggered me that okay, I need to buy something which gives me a feeling of to say "Hey, it's a gift. It's not something a medicine, right?"
Yeah.
So I decided to choose. Of course, I checked with my friends, those who have used the brand. Now I went to the store. I wanted to experience the product. Now, the experience of the product, it was not something that, okay, they give you in hand and then do it. No, they explain you about the product, they explain you about the store, the discount program that they have, right? The customer journey experience is what I liked. And every time when I walked into the store, I found the same experience. It could be festive season, it could be non-festive season. They kept the consumer experience very intact. The design of the store was not like a pharmacy, but it was more like a Christmas celebration event, right? They put all the products in front of you to taste, to try, and then get a feeling. Then there was let's say a person who is into that cosmetics. He came and he showed multiple products. He understood my taste, what I wanted. He asked me a couple of questions, and then finally he decided to let me try a couple of products. I tried, I tested, I smelled it. I got a great fragrance out of the product. What I got impressed with was the packaging. It was quite neat and clean, and what else? The pricing. Of course, it is expensive, but they kept on some discounts. So
Okay. Great.
yeah. So from a what I mean, if I want to respond to the questions, did the purchase arise out of a need or a want? I would say it was a need again, but it was more of, let's say, a brand which I wanted to get associated with. What feature did you like about the product? The consumer experience, the way it was packaged, the way it was being promoted. What value did the product offer you? Of course, monetary wise, and at the same time, the I mean, what I focus at that point of time was whether it is going to harm me or not. So the testing of the product did go well compared to other products. I liked it. So that's something which made me to buy. How important was the trust factor before decided to go ahead with the purchase? Yes, it was very much. If they could not build my trust in the initial 2 minutes after using the product, then they cannot build even if they offer me a higher priced product. So they kind of like build the trust by telling me about the product feature, the quality it offers, the price, why it is bit expensive compared to others, and the long lasting, right? So sometimes the some of the moisturizing creams, if you leave it for 6 months, it may get solidified or it may get too liquidy, and then some of the skin tone that it doesn't it gel properly with. But this one, I liked it because I used it, and after a year again, I'm still ordering from India, to bring it from Singapore. So that's the kind of image that the product has offered me. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Great. Vijay, thank you so much for sharing that. Anyone else would like to go, please?
Yeah. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, me. My name is Said.
Hi.
I love the book.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm currently working as a product owner in Equifax, which provides data to banking sector to check the civil scores.
Okay.
So for recent experience, I recently purchased 2 insurance policy for my two-wheeler and car. I have 2 different experience. When I go for to purchase, obviously, I want to be very fast tech to purchase
Yeah.
a product. I just
Yes.
opened the site Policy Bazaar. I got different comparison site like ICICI Lombard, HFC, blah blah and
Yes.
blah. I
Yeah.
compare the prices. Then obviously, being a human, you will compare. There are 3 different policies in India. That is
Yeah.
one comprehensive, which cover the own damage and third party, then own damage. And
Yeah.
obviously, I compare the prices. I clicked it, and it suddenly hardly take 5 to 10 minutes to receive the policy. That is for the two-wheel experience. But
Yeah.
when I went for the four-wheeler, that was a antique experience. I repeated the same process, but for car, they don't allow without verification. They allow the video verification. So I have to go down to my parking. I have to take video, but I took the video once, twice, thrice, 7 times around. It was failed. So
Oh.
my policy was hold on. It was not approved
Oh.
completely. Then I have
Okay.
to call to customer care. Someone from their verification guy came to parking slot. He took video in their style and it was passed. So that was bad experience for me. So I realized some things verification process sometimes hectic for us.
Yeah.
So insurance was a
Perfect.
need that I purchased, and it offer obviously security to my products, to my own or two-wheelers or four-wheelers. So that was my experience. And obviously,
Right.
when we count for trust factor, obviously the companies which are already into the insurance sector.
Yeah.
So I prefer that company. Yeah,
Okay.
that was my experience.
So, did you do any research? Of course, you've had the
Yeah,
whole,
yeah,
you've gone through an aggregator, you've seen the price, you've seen what
yes,
benefits are there
yes,
in
yeah,
terms of even your after sales service. How much time
yeah.
did you spend on researching that, or was it a very quick
I
decision?
spent around 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay, fine. And because that information was available to you online, so it was
Yeah,
very easy for you to make that decision. You didn't even need a salesperson to come and drive that decision. Okay, this is a great perspective. And like you mentioned, from a customer experience point of view, for the two-wheeler, it was great, smooth sailing. But for the four-wheeler, is because they have certain requirements in terms of what checks
yeah,
needed
that it
to
will
be
pass.
done.
Yeah.
Would you say because they came about a little later,
Mm.
and they offered you that service? They
Yeah, they
offered
offered.
you, yeah, they came by, they did that for you, and they didn't leave you in the dark, or, but they came by and they offered you the service of completing that entire journey. Do you think that could be a good win for them, or does that still dampen your experience?
My experience was bad because I have to travel next day to the 600 kilometers. So I have to run my car without insurance. So that was a risk for me.
Risk, absolutely. Okay, got that. Okay, these are, anyone else would like to go? One more, please. Thank you.
Probably I'll add a short one, Cheryl. It's a Indian, let's say, retail app, which is Meesho, right? Meesho offers a
Yes.
great experience. Of late, I've started ditching Amazon and Flipkart for it, primarily because it engages you as a user. It gives you a lot of discounts, and it also gives you a lot of options. So for a middle class consumers, right, what is more important is the price and the discounts and the
Yes.
quality, right? So
Yes.
all that variation, if a product company like Meesho could offer me, or rather the product which I'm using, right, app, if it gives me all that views, it makes me to decide the product very well.
Mm.
And of course, the journey experience which I talked about, that from the moment we order it, when it gets delivered, and if we don't like it, if we return it, the entire journey was very smooth. What I liked about was the pricing factor.
Okay.
Sometimes as a user, we may find the same product is quite expensive. So
Yeah.
that in a long run, what happens is the users would start, dumping the product or other app which they're using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I want
All
to
right.
highlight. Thank you.
Great. Thank you all for sharing your view. And basically, this is how market research is done, by the way. What we've done right now is nothing but information gathering, and that takes us to what market research is. It's a systematic process of gathering, organizing, and assimilating the information that you have using various market research tools. This is not only a foundation for new product development, but it's also the foundation for any product improvement, right? So it has two purposes that it fulfills. You not only create new products out of this discussion that we've had, but you also improve upon your existing product line. And that's why research is very, very important. So, through this exercise that we have done right now, where we spoke about the products that you've last bought and we've interviewed you, and that's one of the primary tools of market research. I interviewed you all, I had my questions ready. And if we were sitting in a group of 10 or 12 people, I would have done the same exercise, and we call it a focus group. So I would have my questions ready, perhaps a little more detailed than what you've seen in the last slide, but I would speak to you about pricing, I would speak to you about look and feel, I would speak to you about aesthetics, I would speak to you about everything. And that is what market research is all about. This helps me as a product manager gather actual, and I'm not building this in isolation, I'm not going through resources that are available, but I'm speaking to actual users of the product, and that's the foundation of a successful product launch. So I've identified your needs, we've understood whether it's a need or a want, we understand what the market trends are all about, and if there's any avenue for business development. And all this data helps us to identify the risk. Now, Manindra, right, Manindra? Yeah, you spoke about your experience in insurance. Now,
Yeah.
he said for two-wheeler, it was absolutely great, very seamless. But for his four-wheeler is where the issue was. So that's a risk. I would have risked losing business because the customer experience was a big flop. It did not go the way it was intended to. So I have to go back to my development team, and we have to work with certain parameters to ensure that that does not happen again. And that's how you build and you improve your product. That's an existing product line enhancement. Now, in the first example, we spoke about bath and body products. Now, I have made a big list of what Vijay actually liked, and it was all about the customer experience, the aesthetics. I can use the same business idea and create another product in the market using these parameters. Maybe it's not another bath and body products, but I understand what aesthetics you like, and based on that I could create a new product that A fulfills the need that you want, because I've already got all the parameters that you've liked. So I get a new product idea from there. This is just an example by demonstration. Now let's talk about what is the process for market research. You define your objective. What problem are you solving? Everything starts with a problem that you want to solve. Okay, so let's take this. Let's take Bath and Body Works, or anything else, for example. Let's talk about a competitor for Meesho. We already know we have Myntra. I think that's there. Meesho is another platform. I'm sure you have a lot of platforms that are there who are all fighting for their space. I mean, the number of promotions that we get, we're just spoiled for choice as consumers in India to select from the best platforms that are available. So, is that a space that I want to get into? Maybe, maybe not. Example. Now, I want to go into one particular product line. Let's take a bag. I'm going to take a women's product because it's never enough. Okay, no matter how many bags and how many shoes you have, you always look for options to be unique. Say I want to go into the handbag industry. And I want to create a handbag that is specifically for women who are professionals. With India or worldwide landscape, a lot of women are now going and working. They are very well educated. They are not homemakers anymore. I would say that a large portion of them are actually working professionals. They either choose to work from home remotely or they go to their workplace. Say, I want to create a handbag that is specifically for working women, and I've identified the problem. A lot of these handbags might not have enough compartments, and I want to make a product that serves that purpose. So I know that that's the problem I'm trying to solve. I identify my target market. Based on all these research tools that we have, we identify who our customers are. You might have 1,000 people in your entire kitty, but you're just building this product for 50 of them. And that's who you'll concentrate on. It trickles down, it filters who your target market is. And that is very important when you're defining what your your product objective is. Based on that, you'll use a lot of market research tools. We'll get into it in a bit. And after you've collected all your information, that's where data analytics plays an important role. And trust me, it's a treasure trove of information. It's a treasure trove of you to do your entire research. When you have a lot of raw data at your disposal, you can bring up a lot of analytics as and when you go to solve that particular problem. And of course, if you have stakeholders to present it to, it could be a VC, it could be an accelerator, it could be anyone within your organization, the stakeholders. That's where you actually speak about your product launch through visual storytelling, statistics to support it, and that goes into your product proposal. So that's essentially what your market research process is. Now let's talk about the type of primary market research tools. These tools help you collect first-hand information from your target audience. It could be in terms of an interview, like we just did. Surveys. Now, you've heard of SurveyMonkey, you've heard of all these other platforms that are there. You just have 20 questions or whatever the business demands, and you send it off to potential customers. With a click of a button, they answer it, you get your analytics, and that kind of does the job. Focus group is where you have a group of people who come and test the product. And I actually did one focus group while I was doing my MBA. It was a very interesting project. In fact, it was a part of my marketing discipline that was their marketing project. There was a bake shop in the UAE, and they were looking for someone to partner with to do a focus group. They sell cupcakes, they sell cakes. And the best part about and why it was so new is because they would have 3D, I would not say images, but 3D construction on their cupcakes. So it was not just 2D or flat, it was actually 3D rendering of certain decorative items on the cupcake. And that was new. I'm talking way back in 2012. So I needed an A on a project and they needed someone to partner with. And I thought, okay, you know what? This is great. Why don't we just team up? So we had a group of people, maybe in attendance, 10, 15 of them. We recorded the entire thing and we had a whole score sheet that spoke to, and they brought samples, by the way. So we had to score them based on taste, pricing, aesthetics, and the works. And they took this feedback before they actually went in store. They were just home bakers and they were going to set up a store. Today they are one of the biggest bake shops in the UAE, and all the celebrities basically go to them. So that's their success story. But we were there during the initial stages to help them make that decision before they went into store. Data analytics, we've already spoken about. It's your organization, a powerhouse of information, and do make use of it. Trust me, it changes the way you think and it encourages you to think out of the box. Now, with the advent of social media, you have a lot of analytics, right? So if you're a brand who's already there up on social media, you get your analytics firsthand. It allows you to understand who your target audience is, what time you post, the demographics, and so on. I'll stop here. Do you have any questions before we move on to the next slide?
No.
So guys, we'll take a quick
Yeah, well,
break
let's take a
after.
break.
Yeah. So I have put one question in the chat. Very basic. What is the difference between focus group and interview? Anybody wants to speak up? This is very basic. A lot of people get confused in interviews because recently I've taken one interview for a product manager. So I asked, will be your strategy? Will you take interviews for the hypothesis building, insight creation, or you'll do focus group? First, what you will do? So what do you guys think? What is the difference? Anybody wants to speak up? And then we'll take a quick break. Just a knowledge check. Yes.
Focus
Yes.
group is a kind of mature group, we can say, which are dedicated group of people with
Hmm.
whom we take the kind of data and which are already aware. And in interview, we go kind of R&D questions where we collect multiple data from different users, that we can say.
Good. Yeah, it's one to one. This interview is always one to one, and the guided part is there. Focus is not just, just you're giving them a free hand to discuss 10 people. It is just a guided decided the objective and themes, right? So great. I think let's take a quick break. I'll put a timer, guys. You can
Sure.
switch off your video. We'll take 10 minutes, washroom break, water break, whatever. Stretch your legs, stretch your body, and we'll catch up. I'll put a timer so everybody is there on the screen and can see it. Thanks, everybody. We'll join in for 10 minutes, right? Okay, cool. Let me pull my let me share my screen and put my regular timer. Okay, time starts now, and here the screen sharing. I'm doing it with you folks. So here the screen sharing goes. Okay. So now it's visible to everybody. See you in next 10 minutes. Okay. So guys, welcome back.
Um,
So hope you can hear me, audible, visible.
yeah,
I was trying to check our new website meanwhile. So it's just MVP development there also. So folks, good to start, guys.
yeah.
Okay, what about others? Just give me thumbs up. Please tell you are
Yes.
there. Please drink water. We are not in hurry. As I told you, water is important. Health is wealth. Leave everything. Finance also. Okay.
Shall before we
Yeah.
go ahead, can I ask one question?
Yeah. Please carry on. I'll mute myself. Carry on.
Yeah, thanks. Amit. For example, we are launching any product. We don't care what is cosmetics or so. I'll talk about the Indian market. We have three categories: rich class, middle class, and lower middle class. So whenever being product owner managers, we are launching any product. So how we decide the audience as per the funding we got to launch a product, or we have specific class to launch. For example, I take a real life example. Like if you buy the minimum Audi in India, it will be around 45 lakhs. But meanwhile, Maruti sells 5 cars in same rate. So this study, how it's make is depend upon the stakeholders or funding we got or how we want to go in the market.
Okay, great question. So we'll take Audi, for example. You just want to focus on that particular product. Okay, first thing is Audi is perceived to be a luxury car, a low-end car, or a high-end car. What is the perception of the brand?
Luxury car.
Very good. Okay. Now there are two ways of looking at luxury, and let's assess the luxury market. Okay. And I'm just going to digress a little bit and move from luxury car to luxury as a segment. And I'm going to bring in all those big brands that we have like Dior and LV because they all say essentially fall under the same umbrella of luxury as definition. Okay. Not product. So, if you go into the luxury market, right, there are two ways of looking at it. Now, if you see a brand that has logos all over, who are they actually catering to? Are they catering to the elite class or someone in the middle class or upper middle class? What is your take?
Upper
So,
middle class, you can like
absolutely correct because they want to show off.
yeah.
They want to show everyone that, hey, I am associated with so and so brand. Hence, you'll see a logo all over it. The same LV. If I want to go and sell the same product to to the elite class, you'll not see a logo. You won't even see anything. They're called quite luxury. So first thing is you have to decide as an organization, and it all comes down to the strategy. Do you want to, what kind of customer do you want to attract through the Audi car? It's not only about sales. If you look into the luxury market, are you talking about value or volume? If you're talking about volume in the luxury market, then you have to make it achievable for the upper middle class, which means these are people who are aspiring to move from one segment to the other. These are questions that you should ask. And that's always the first question, even when we look at banking products or anything. Let's just forget it. That is the first thing that you should be asking. Now, for example, I've started a luxury gifting company. Okay. I want people who are aspirants also to be a part of it and who can afford as well. And that's the mindset that I have chosen before launching my own business. Okay, because I hyper specialized. So, am I looking at selling 20 cars for like 45 lakhs? Or am I looking to sell 5 cars for, I'm just giving a hypothetical example, 60 lakhs? What is it? Where am I placing myself? On what spectrum? These are very important questions that you should ask. Because if you don't mind selling 5 cars for 60 lakhs, then as a brand, you don't have to really focus on gimmicks. You know what I mean? You don't have to serve that price sensitive segment. And you still have the perception of being an elite or a luxury product versus same, I want to sell to aspirants. That's where I go, okay, 20 cars for 45 lakhs and I'll maybe throw in and I will cross in maybe auto insurance, no processing fees. Or maybe I will take up that first premium free. Or maybe I will give you after sale service, maybe a nice tint on the car for free. That's how you sell to people who are aspiring to fit into that segment. So, which is why I'm saying your long term strategy and your KPIs matter here. And that forms a part of your research. I hope I've answered the question though.
Yeah.
They're just two takes to the same spectrum. Yeah.
Definitely, and I would like to add also here with the Cheryl, context. Mahendra, what you are asking is a very good question. A lot of people start developing product without validating this, right? You have asked practical, very, because you are in rush of feature factory, first of all, right? You are rushing of stakeholders, CXOs level, right? Because when I'm working as a consultant, I give a, perspective from inside outside, right? Overall industry. So short answer in terms of also from my side, just look your TAM SAM SOM, right? That is also important. Market research drives your TAM, and then you decide your SAM, and finally SOM is what you are trying to push it, right? That gives you market attractiveness, right? So I think that's part of market research also. It's a outcome. So yeah, I think Cheryl, you can continue. I hope it helps you, right, Mahendra?
Yeah. Thanks, Cheryl.
Yeah. Thanks everybody.
Great. So we've spoken about the primary market research tools. I'm quickly going to glance through the secondary market research tools, which is more on the economic conditions and a very holistic point of view. It's a eagle eye view of what you're trying to build. So that includes your government websites, external research reports, statistical data that is available that speaks about the industry trends, and it's a more macro perspective. And that gives you enough ammunition when you want to trickle down and use your primary market research tools, right? And SEO resources, industry reports, so on and so forth. Okay, so I did speak about us picking up one banking product, and this is the product that I have worked on, and I've launched the entire business in my last stint with the bank that I've worked with. So we are picking up unit linked insurance products, and what does this mean? Unit linked insurance products are insurance products that are given to us by, so we are like, brokers, right? Between the customer, and I'm talking about us as the bank, we are distributors of the product, but the product development and the product ownership is with an insurance company. So, unit linked insurance products are those insurance products that give you protection against your life, critical illness, and there are a few other riders. And they have a small portion of investment component, which means if I'm contributing $200 towards my policy every month, I have the option to invest into a basket of funds. So I not only get protection, I also get a little bit of appreciation in my value. So you're making money as and when it goes, right? So they have a range of funds that are there. They're all based on certain risk ratings. And we spoke about investment risk profile when we first started the course. So you do your investment risk profile, you assess what kind of risk appetite you have. Based on that, you narrow down on what kind of funds that align with your investment risk profile you invest into. Okay, plain Jane. Now, let's talk about this particular product and let's start with the product objectives, right? So, if we go back to our market research, let's go back to that. What was the first thing? Define objectives. So, now we are defining our objectives. Now, the bank said that they wanted to introduce products that fulfill life insurance, right? And supports a part of their customers' investment goal. The product should only cater to their priority customers, which means now priority customers in terms of definition, it differs from organization to organization. So they want all your H&I clients to be a part of this particular product. And obviously, there are a lot of ways that a bank earns, either through fees. I'm sure you've seen minimum balance charge and you've lost a card, you have a charge and everything else. That's one kind of fee. That's one way of earning an income for the bank. And the other one is through front end commission. Because if I, as a bank, sell this particular product, the insurance company gives me a commission, which is front end, which is great. It's wonderful for the bank. So that's an additional avenue of revenue generation through a third party product. And what else? We want to increase the brand's perception and we want to increase our loyalty. And it empowers the customer to take charge of their financial decisions. So if I, as a bank today, I'm giving you accounts, I'm giving you loans, I'm opening up one more line of business so that I'm a one-stop shop for all your financial requirements, your investment requirements, and your loan requirements, right? Everything else. So we are a 360 business that gives you all the options to cater to that particular requirement. So that's what it is. It aligns with the strategy of the bank. They take you through the KPIs and everything else. I won't get into that, but it's defined. What's next? I do my primary market research. We spoke about cost of acquisition at the start. It is easier for me to tackle the internal customers of the bank first rather than go and acquire customers from outside because there is a cost attached to it. So I look at my internal data first. What do I know? Here is a competition scan, and that is generally our first go-to for any research. Because we are a small group of banks over here, we know exactly which bank we should assess first. So we do something called a competition analysis where we say bank A, B, C, D, E, F, I've just given names. And I can see what kind of segment they have over there. Now, all of us in the banks over here, and I'm sure it's there worldwide, we define or we categorize our customers based on different segments, right? So, for example, I think Axis has, I think Burgundy is at the highest tier, if I'm not mistaken, in India. And then comes your priority and everything else. I'm not sure. I think that's how it's done. So I will assess the segments. I will assess what kind of income bracket those customers are and what kind of insurance products is the bank offering. So ABC Bank has a segment that's an affluent segment where the income bracket is, say, $6,000 and they only offer term insurance. DEF mass, that means very low tiered customers who might not earn a high salary, 1,400 perhaps onwards, and they just have over the counter insurance products. Not much thought into it. This particular bank caters to the elite segment. Those customers earn about $20,000 and they offer unit linked investment products. That's the product that we want to launch. So we'll pay special attention to this. And then we have another bank that also has elite segment wherein the income bracket of those customers are about $100,000 and they only offer investment plans, pure investment, no insurance. You know, your mutual funds, your bonds and everything else, that's all they do. They don't even look into insurance. Now I look into the segment of my bank. Our segments are mass, affluent, and elite. So based on the competition scan that is done, I see that my product lies over here in the elite segment. So this is the segment in which I will focus on. Okay. So what will happen is either you go back to your segment manager and you go like, hey, I think we should align what the affordability should look like, what the minimum balance should look like, perhaps what should the total relationship look like, right? If we want to sell this particular product. Now, if you have a very lean product team, then you're the person who's doing it, unless there is a segment manager that takes care of the entire thing. And that's your stakeholder communication, which is why stakeholder management is extremely important in the role of a product manager. You have to work in collaboration with such roles so that you fulfill your requirement of launching this product. Okay. So if you feel that, oh, I don't have the confidence to speak to so and so level, you'll really have to buck up and fight for yourself and gain that confidence and those speaking points to speak to other professionals who are perhaps at the same level or higher. Because through the exchange of information, you learn a lot. And that's where the mindset plays a big role. Okay, moving on. So I've assessed what my segment looks like. Now let's look at the internal data. I look at age, I look at income, nationality, gender, family status. I look at what products they have at the moment in the bank, account balance, credit card spending pattern, and I look at the investment life cycle of the customer. Are they at the accumulation stage, or there's a whole investment life cycle. I won't delve much into it. Based on that, I also understand, is there any product that can be cross sold to these customers? Now, what does that mean? Certain products like mortgage, home loan, it is a form of secured lending, right? And I'm sure all of you who have properties and you all have availed of home loans, there is also an insurance factor that plays into it.
Yeah.
Two types, right? So one is where you protect yourself because you've taken out that loan, and that insurance amount is limited to the amount of the loan. For example, hypothetical, I've taken 5 lakhs loan or whatever property value, and then they encourage you to take another insurance policy to protect yourself against that liability. That's one which is compulsory. Now, if God forbid anything happens to the life insured, because it's under loan, right? You've taken a loan facility. There could be an instance where that property, if it's not paid, if your loan is not paid, the first right would go to the bank that has loaned you the money. Now, you would also want to protect yourself and you would want to ensure that your family continues the same lifestyle even after you've gone. That's where I cross sell my insurance product to you and I go like, hey, Mr. Customer, you've already taken a loan, you've insured yourself for the extent of the property. Why don't you take out an extra insurance product so that you safeguard your family and ensure that they have the same lifestyle even after you've gone? That is called cross selling a product. And that's what your stakeholders want to see. That's what you have to propose, which is why you should think out of the box, right? So you have your analytics coming in the view point of view, you've assessed the customer spending, you've assessed everything, and that's how you actually form your proposition.
Shell, sorry, I have one question here.
Please.
For example, you mentioned about loan. For example, someone has taken loan of 80 lakhs in Indian currency. He has only wife dependent, 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
But due to some medical reason, he died. Obviously,
Yes.
he had. So in such cases, it happens sometimes that individual wife family has to struggle to get that loan insured. Because I have seen a real example where one of my friends died, his father died.
Yeah.
They have hell of background verification agencies. They're coming to their home one, twice, thrice, twice. So how it deal by banks?
Yeah, that's the reason I said so. What happens? I'm not sure how it works in India. I'll be very honest,
I
but I
can
can.
answer this. I can
Yeah,
answer this if you
Vijay.
don't mind. So typically in housing market, it's a good question, Mahindra.
Thank you.
So what banks have realized is that since such incidences happens, as a customer, they are supposed to pay a premium for insurance also. Okay, as
Agree.
part of the home loan, nowadays, or rather, I think it's since last 15-20 years, the banks have mandated to offer a low premium insurance product for the borrower. So, in case if the borrower dies, the insurance company will take care of making the payment for the loan
Agree.
in the event of
But
death.
yeah, but either I'll tell you one flaw. I'm not sure you're aware. In Indian system, corruption is everywhere, right? I'll tell you real life example. They have taken one
No,
loan.
no, I mean, let's not talk about corruption. Let's talk
I'm saying
about
how
first.
banks dealing with that. For example, I'll tell you loss because one guy came to him. They have 3 verification and they have the very ticks. They keep 3 or 4 miles with them. They record an interview, how they died, what they did. So at then what that guy is saying, if you offer me 1 lakh rupees, I'll pass your verification. So this happen in India. So how bank deal with this kind of situation? Because they will went to loss, right? If such happen, and it
No,
happened
let's
really
talk.
in India. Yeah.
Let's talk about this situation alone. What Cheryl was explaining. It's about. I mean, the question that you asked is, in case if the
Someone.
borrower dies, what happens and how it is covered. So that is a product feature which is offered. It is a mandatory insurance. Now let's talk about other scenarios where that if there is any kind of loophole that might have been there, which probably it's a compliance issue. Before offering a product, all all the compliance and checks are narrated to the legal before launching the product. I hope I could answer the question.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, got it.
And
Okay.
guys, just a quick reminder, we have a close hard stop at 8.
Yeah, I'll
So,
just
so
breeze
yeah.
through. Yes.
And Mahindra, good question. This is jobs to be done framework, right? You have to think of the persona and features.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm connecting you to the dots also, don't worry.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
carry on.
Anyway, so secondary, right? Market research tools, and this is an actual claims report. From here, you understand where what opportunities you have. It just gives you a brief introduction of the composition of male and female. How did they pass away? What kind of claims have come through? What would the age look like? Generally, this is a very comprehensive document that is given by the insurance company. This is just a snapshot. So this adds to your research tools whenever you have to go and prepare your product proposition. Okay. And of course, we've spoken about the total available market, that's your TAM. So we assume that the total insurable population is, say, 54 billion. Out of that, how many customers that you can serve? We trickle that down to about 3.5 billion. And that portion of the market that will actually buy your product is about 1 million. Now, while this is great in terms of concept, in terms of educational purposes, in reality, we don't really look at these matrices. Now, I'm speaking about the UAE particularly. We use this information to show how much market is actually there, right? Because the way the insurance industry is designed in the UAE perhaps is different from other geographic locations. So, particularly the UAE, we have certain insurance providers who serve multiple banks. And now, and we spoke about those regulations that the central bank has put forward, you cannot change the pricing. So it's not like I go to bank A, I will get it for $1 in terms of cost to me, and I go to bank B and I'll get it at $2. No. It used to happen, but with the regulations coming into force, it's now standardized. So banks are faced with a huge challenge on how to be differentiators. If there is no difference in the pricing, then you have to up your game in terms of customer experience and all those other parameters come into play, right? So it's a discussion for another time. Now, translating, now you've gathered all your tools, you've gathered all your information, and now you want to translate this into product strategy. This is where your persona will come into play. So it's not something that is there. This is not a format that's written on stone. It's just a format that I've put across for the purpose of this course to just give you an overview of what that would look like. A persona is where you look into your customer's profile, you've gained everything, and you compartmentalize them into different personas, right? So let me give you an example. Based on all the market research we have done, assessing the internal information, I have narrowed down the persona of one such customer. Her name is Ashika. This is a mood board to depict what her lifestyle looks like. So she's a professional and she's about 38 years old. She's a mom of two. She loves traveling. She loves luxe items and she's ahead of all her trends. And this is how much she actually earns per month. Why have I focused on traveling and everything else? Because I've assessed the credit card spending pattern. So you need to know your customers at that minute level. And that's how a persona is built. Who are her influencers? How does she make her decision? Her children influence her decisions, her parents, her friends, her family, and even her colleagues. What trends and how does she gain her market information? Through social media, through community networks, and through networking groups. And what else do we have? What's her profession? She's self employed, she owns a marketing agency, and she has certain pain points as well, right? She feels finance is a complicated subject. She's not investment savvy. She feels it's a complicated process, and she has that fear to insure or invest, because you'll all know that when your insurance salesmen come to you, what is the first thing that you think? Oh, am I going to die? You purchase out of fear. And that's not a good way to kind of put it across, right? But this is how I would sell a product. I would think about legacy planning, because I'm a self-employed professional. Rather, Ashika is a self-employed professional. You think about life protection. You think about wealth generation and professional support. Now, you've prepared this entire mood board or a persona, and what do you think will solve the problem? You have your problem statement and everything in this particular format itself. I feel that a digital onboarding would help her. Maybe if the process is completed in under 24 hours, if the critical illness is honored within 48 hours, and she has professional help with her investment risk profile assessment and what she needs to invest into. Okay, so now let's interpret the data. We saw that there is an opportunity for us to cater to an elite segment. External reports show us that we have a potential. We know that the customers are lacking education, and our research teams can help them with that education as well through, market outlook. Front end is an additional source of income for the bank, and clients will diversify their products owned by the bank, so on and so forth, right? It opens up more opportunities for cross-selling more products. So now I will translate this into the journey. Onboarding, digital onboarding. I will assign her an RM. RM will consult her one-on-one and do the entire risk profile assessment. From a user experience point of view, we'll have customer education tools in place. We will match her goal requirements. So if it's investment, if it's life protection, we match that up. Seamless application process, correct? And product conversion is done in under 48 hours, because at the end, it's a number game. Post-sale, and this is so important, I think a lot of businesses do not think about, it's the post-sale experience. You should have a periodic review meeting, in-app services, seminars, and ease of communication, because that's when they need you the most. This is easy, but to maintain this is actually the cream of any business success, I feel. Post-sale experience. Then you have to check whether this particular product has some commercial viability, check your commercial agreements, assess your direct, indirect cost, and recognition of income, provision tracking, the works. And that's all done by a product manager, mind you. So we speak to a lot of stakeholders, we speak to CFOs, we speak to chief risk officers, we speak to people who are heading departments in order to drive this entire launch. And of course, include elements of it in our product proposal. This is just a snapshot of what a financial or a P&L would look like. How many number of cases coming through? What is the income? What is the exchange income is actually an added revenue generation for us. Won't touch upon it. What is the staff cost? Miscellaneous expenses? What is my gross income? I'm keeping provision aside in case customers do not pay up on time. I don't want to realize that profit. And at the end, this is what my projection looks like. We are supposed to give that projection. We are supposed to give all that assumption. And this is based on internal, external data and everything else. Regulatory requirements, you cannot miss this. You consult your internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, information technology, the works. That's where you have to do 360 of your analysis and be at the top of your game. Check whether your systems are feasible enough to hold any digital advances, right? Internal policies. All this is included like a Bible in a page that goes on maybe 20, 30 pages. It could be anything, but it is a very exhaustive document, which is your value proposition or your product proposal. It highlights everything that starts from the research that is done, the resources that are there. We spoke about financial, we spoke about user journey, everything else is then put into this document. Some banks have something called a product committee who assesses everything, which includes the CEO. And of course, there's a lot of back and forth, right? They'll come back to us, oh, you haven't included this risk, what is the mitigant? You haven't done this, what it is. And so, with all that back and forth, after everything's been done, is when your document is approved. But the work of a product manager does not stop there. You have to train your frontline staff, you have to prepare training materials from them, and then you have to look into the overall marketing initiatives that are there because you know what the target audience is. That's what you give your marketing team, and they churn out all those creatives and tone of voice and everything else that is required in your marketing strategy. Now, I understand we are short on time, but this was what I wanted to leave you with. Perhaps we'll not focus on that today, but pick up any one product, right? And I want you to use the guidelines that's here. Perhaps, Amit, you think they'll receive this presentation?
Yeah, video recording and the presentation everybody will get within 24 hours.
Perfect. So I guess this is something that y'all can work with. Think of it could be anything, right? But this is the three line of businesses that I thought of, and adopt all the market research and the personas and everything that we've spoken about. And I would like to see some of your projects, and then we can have a discussion on that later. Look, y'all don't have to, I don't want to put y'all in a box and y'all only do something on this. In the essence of time, I don't want to delve into it a little further, but pick up any product of your choice, and I'm more than happy to have a chat if y'all want to share that across with us.
Yeah,
Right?
sure.
So that's just about it. I will prepare a deck which has more resources for you to gain your primary research, secondary research, and some books that I've come across that would be of great help to all of y'all in your journey. So, yeah, that's it for me, and we can connect over LinkedIn. Thank
Yeah,
you.
guys. Thanks,
Thanks, Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Thanks for
Thanks everybody. So, guys,
Thanks,
quickly, what
Amit.
I will Yeah,
Thanks,
quickly what
Cheryl.
I will do, what all Cheryl has told, you need to, do the practice also, learn also, right?
Yeah.
So end of the day, it's learning that makes you doing, right? So let me share my screen quickly because this is the links I've been giving you. So that's the one of the program that we are doing currently, right? And I'll share this also slides with you. So let me see where the so it'll give a snapshot so you are aware, right? Because this is already current. Some of the folks are already in the program. We have upgraded the program also, right? So this is around 12 weeks program, right? So like Smile has joined from Dubai and Mahindra is also based out of India. And a lot of folks, Mr. Venki also is from US. He will be joining this program. So it's all 12 weeks program where I do hands-on primarily, right? All objective is not traditional learning. So you to take a lot of multiple decisions, how AI will help you to take that and move forward fast, right? How to make decisions fast, how to get decided, and how AI can help you to integrate in your research, prioritization, all what Cheryl has tell can be done some of the part through AI also, right? So then you will do hands-on, you will select your own project, your own problem statement, right? So that's the sprint we go on. Entire program is a sprint based, right? So let me share. I think the screen has moved on. Yeah. So this program is primarily entire screen. So I tell you from you select your problem, right? We are not giving you anything. Day one, week one, you select your problem. For example, insurance problem Mahindra was telling, right? That is a very good feature and that is a journey you need to embed into your compliance and all that. Then you start to build the decisions. Then we got a feedback from AI and market and we also give mentor. And then you reflect, you put your GTM and finally you launch the product. So this project uh, is done throughout, right? It is not that end of the learning you have to do. Each week you have to do something using AI tool and built on, right? So that way you keep hands on and overall you will have your portfolio also which you have, see product charter, all your AI state PRDs, MVP. So it is very important for everybody, as I emphasized earlier also, to have your portfolio, right? So end of the program, you have ready portfolio which you can show to recruiters, artifacts by 12th week, right? And you can select any of the domain. We want to solve your problem in the domain which is close to you, close to your experience, right? And that's how the program work out. I'm not going into detail. So you start from strategic competencies to execution to technical leadership and in terms of building the product and taking it to market, right? So I have shared the same links. So we go with foundation, a lot of, product charter. How product charter is a very important thing. Some of the people still don't make. So a lot of confusion, decision making is happening there based on that. And then we go to discovery, market vision, and market insight. So we do a lot of AI labs. Uh, AI labs are core part of it. You learn prompt engineering, right? Everything part of, in terms of experimentation, UI, and you finally launch your product, right? It is not just building a wireframe, you launch your real product, right? So that is very important. You build your roadmaps, GTM, and then finally, getting some of the tools, using it on the go. So you get hands-on, right? So this is in short, primarily, I've been leading this program, and I'll be adding more mentors coming on where they're available, right? So that's it. I want to show in short. So you are aware that yes, without hands-on building, nothing is useful, right? And I think Mahindra, a smile can say their learning journey.
Yeah,
How you feel, Mahindra?
it is very good. Mr. is teaching in very ground level practical knowledge. So we are very confident when we move as a product role in any organization.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, thanks for that. I've been pushing because a lot of things are new to you, right? Sometimes you tend to learn in second term, second time, third time, right? It's very important to hands-on do mistakes and ask silly questions. So we are welcoming everything, and we are not, like small cohorts we take, right? So that's all. I want to share it. You start building, come join us. Tomorrow we are starting a new batch. So if you have not registered, I have shared the link in the chat. Please register, right? And tomorrow is the onboarding day for the new, so you understand it, right? So there's no pressure to join. Experience it first, frankly. Always I say experience it first. If you like it, ask 2,000 questions and then join, right? So I'd like to thank everybody. At least today was around 15 to 18 folks, and at least 12 are still there, 12 to 13. So it's good to see your motivation, and I welcome everybody for future learnings, right? And best wishes, and thanks everybody for taking the time, right? And taking time for yourself to learn these things and connect to us, right? So have a nice evening. Bye bye, everybody, then.
Thanks,
Thank you
thanks,
so much,
Cheryl.
Cheryl, and thank you so much,
Thank you,
Amit, for
everyone.
the
It was a
session.
pleasure meeting all of you and interacting with you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much,
Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
Bye bye.
you.